Today we're joined by Jamie Barsky, lead clinician for AnonyMind, who is here to tell us about the support available for people struggling with problem gambling. Hi Jamie, please tell us a little bit about yourself and your role as a clinical psychologist and how you might be able to help people with problem gambling.
Hi Susie, thank you. So you're right, I'm a clinical psychologist. What that means is I've trained to develop ways of supporting people to break unhelpful patterns of behavior, unhelpful patterns of thinking and feeling. And what I see is how stuck people can get in those unhelpful and harmful patterns. Sometimes it's despite someone's best efforts, they cannot break those patterns themselves. So a clinical psychologist or a psychotherapist has trained specifically in supporting people to reach their goals by breaking those unhelpful patterns of behavior.
Okay, so what are some of the most common harms caused by problem gambling, and what is it that stops people asking for help?
So obviously there's the financial harm. One of the defining features of a gambling problem is spending money that we can't afford. So clearly there are financial consequences of that. Often there are also consequences to a gambler's relationships, their families, their loved ones, and gambling problems can also affect someone's working life as well. At its most extreme, Susie, gambling addiction can make someone act in ways that is completely at odds with their own personal values. So it's the gambling that's driving certain decisions and behaviors, not the person's desires or values. And at its very worst, Susie, in the times of most desperation, problematic gamblers are actually at increased risk of ending their lives because of the desperate situations that they can find themselves in.
Yeah, it must take immense personal strength to ask for help. So how does AnonyMind make it easier for people to get the support they need, and how quickly can they get it?
It's a really good point. So few people with gambling problems actually access help early enough. And there's lots of reasons for that. Asking for help for any kind of behavioral or emotional difficulty is difficult. It can feel scary, it can feel uncertain. There's still, unfortunately, lots of shame and stigma attached to behavioral and emotional and mental health difficulties. So at AnonyMind, we've really thought about that. One of our main goals is to reduce the barriers to people getting help. All it takes to access support from AnonyMind is one click on our website, just a very quick registration process, and then people can access the help that they deserve and need in a confidential setting at a time that suits them.
Yeah, so I mean, you say confidential, so how do people know they can trust AnonyMind with such an important part of their lives?
All the clinicians at AnonyMind are highly experienced professional psychologists or psychotherapists. What that means is they have to follow a strict code of conduct and ethics. Their main priority is the welfare and well-being of the people they work with. And all of their decisions will be informed by making sure that person, the client, is getting the help they need confidentially.
So what would you say to someone who has inwardly acknowledged that they have a problem, but who hasn't yet found the courage to ask for help?
Getting help can feel so difficult sometimes. I would say just take that first step. Register with the website, anonymind.com. Have a look around. We've got loads of information and self-help videos and material on there that people can explore. And it's literally then the click of a button to arrange your first appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one appointment, Susie. So that's all that may be required. And if more sessions are needed, that's fine as well. But there's nothing to lose from taking that first step.
No, absolutely. And so for someone who hasn't received treatment before, can you explain the process they may go through with you guys at AnonyMind?
So the first point when someone starts to get help is to understand what their goals are. What do they want to achieve from having some time with one of our clinicians? So the first session will look a lot like a conversation about the problems that the person's experiencing and how the clinician might be able to help. It really is a process of exploring and understanding to begin with. And then as we move forward with sessions, the clinician and the client will work together to help the person achieve their goals.
So what part does self-exclusion play in recovery? Could someone just stop? If they can't gamble anymore, then why is it still a problem to address?
Yeah, I really wish it was as easy as self-exclusion. Self-exclusion can be a helpful part of the picture, but it's often not enough on its own. These long-standing patterns of behaviors and habits are really hard to break. So if someone self-excluded, it's not that difficult to find ways around that when the urge to gamble gets so strong. So often, alongside self-exclusion, help from a supportive professional expert can be part of the process of recovery.
And then finally, how important are lived experiences in recovery?
So hearing about other gamblers who have succeeded in breaking that habit, that addiction, is so important for people to hear. It can be helpful to have professionals such as myself as part of that recovery journey to support someone in breaking addictions. But I believe that often the most powerful stories are from those people that have actually lived it, have actually succeeded themselves. So other people who are at the start of their journey can get some hope and inspiration from others.
So, I mean, that's been a great conversation. I think it will have opened up so many eyes, hopefully, to people that are maybe suffering from problem gambling there. Jamie, is there anything just as a closing statement that you just want to share with anybody who may be struggling to reach out and come for help?
Yeah, I think the biggest message that I want to get across is it's okay to ask for help. With gambling, of all the emotional or behavioral or mental health difficulties people can experience, gambling is one of the most hidden. So few people with gambling difficulties get the help that they deserve and the help that they need. So just taking that first step, register with the website, arrange your first appointment with one of our clinicians, and see how it goes. There's literally nothing to lose by doing that.
That's great. Thanks so much, Jamie. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Susie.